Hello and welcome to Rathods IS Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 23rd September 2024. So let's get started, and actually there are very less number of articles which are relevant from our examination point of view today, and most of the articles are based on US elections and as well as Sri Lanka elections. We are not going to bother about elections, but after once elections is done, so after once government is formed in that country, we are going to see how our foreign policy is going to be shifted. That is the thing which is important. Okay, so see this first article. So this article you are seeing from last 3 days. So first title is Quad Meet launches maritime and health initiatives. So we all know that Quad meeting is happening. So between which countries? Australia, India, Japan and US. So actually here, why this Quad? Is it formal or informal group? It is informal group. So here, okay, so let me tell you the basics. So key thing or key word is quad. Quad is nothing but quadrilateral dialogue. So the name which came because if you see the locations of these countries which are part of this quad, they forms quadrilateral shape. So which are those four countries? So which are those four countries? So as I said, that is US, India, Australia and Japan. So actually, which is a common enemy of these four countries? Okay, so India is having dispute with China across LAC, line of actual control, and where the dispute is present between US and China regarding trade. So because of this, in yesterday's, that is in your GS mains 2024, there was question regarding China plus one. So this concept is related to this. So actually most of this West countries, so US is part of West, it is having trade war between China and US. So because of this, most of the Western countries, they want to leave this China because of this increasing of hegemony and also expansionist aggressive policy, and even it is also having more technology like 5G technology and as well as nuclear technology. Because of all these things, Western countries, they want to leave this China and they are searching for other country where they have to invest, and other country the choice is India. And there they asked about what are the conditions which are responsible for choosing India as China plus one. So I discussed that, right? Okay, so from where China and Japan having disputes? In East China Sea. And regarding Australia, it is also regarding maritime sector itself. Okay, so commonly it is called as anti-China group. So yesterday also we discussed this article that before this Quad meet, Indian Prime Minister, he met US President. So what are the highlights of yesterday's Indian and US President meet? Okay, Quad, cancer, moonshot. So what is that Quad, cancer, moonshot is about? It is about cervical vaccine, right? Cervical cancer vaccine. So is there any vaccine in India regarding cervical cancer? Yes, that is called as Servovac. But this quad moonshot had been came up in year 2016. But recent in 2023 to 2024, we got this cervical vaccine in India. Okay, so here let us see what are the highlights of this quad meet. So this is very relevant from our examination point of view. So this article is saying that Quad leaders, they gathered at Delaware for their sixth summit, and in this summit they focused on maritime and health initiatives. So what are those maritime initiatives? The first one is Coast Guard exercise, and they are also focusing on increased maritime surveillance, and they focused on quad cancer moonshot to combat this cervical cancer in India. Okay, so actually in this meet, they also condemned about China's expansionist policy in especially South China Sea and as well as East China Sea. So you know about the South China Sea, right? So there are three islands where China is having dispute with other countries which are sharing boundary with the South China Sea. So which are those three islands? Spratly Islands, Parcel Islands and Scarborough. So these three very important, and you have to open map and see the locations, and you have to see from which is the northmost island and which is the middle and which is the south. So they may ask question like arrange these islands from north to south or south to north. In this way also you can get question in your prelims. You have to be very thorough with map. And next one is, you know about this Russia-Ukraine crisis, right? So recently India is trying to come up with a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. So this is also one important matter they discussed. So first important one is about cancer, and next one is maritime, and third one is about South China and East China issues, and they also talked about Ukraine crisis, and even they were focusing on education and disaster response. And actually this disaster response is very important for Indian context. Why? Because of especially extreme weather events in India. So recently there is increasing of disasters like floods, like landslides, cloudburst, right, and also forest fires, especially in northern part, and also decrease. So everything that because of this, yes, we need disaster response from other countries. So the key points that you have to get from this article is they are focusing on especially strengthening of maritime security. Why we need strengthening of maritime security? Tell me fast. Why? Because of piracy issue in Indo-Pacific region. And next one is because of most of the trade which goes on through this maritime route. Yes, we need to maintain security and safety in this region. Next, to control China, for example, string of pearls concept. Next, come on, you can do it. So we need proper interoperability and as well as safety in this Indo-Pacific because there is increased relevance of Indo-Pacific now. So Western countries are saying towards East. There is a shift of power from West towards East, that is Atlantic Ocean towards Indo-Pacific region, right? So because of this, yes, we need to talk about this maritime security now. And next one is health collaboration. Yes, cervical cancer is one of the top most cancer which is causing deaths in women in India. So for that, we need to have cancer related vaccine. So actually this quad cancer moonshot came up in year 2016, and because of some reasons, because of irresponsibility between the countries, it had not been came forward. But now again we are mooting this, and actually under this program they are contributing about $10 million for this vaccine initiatives. So in this way we can focus on global health priorities, and we can also understand that to control this global health concerns, international cooperation is very much required. And next one is for regional stability concerns. Yes, you know about this China, wherever it goes, it will cause some disturbances. Either it may be on land, either it may be on water. So because of this, for stable Indo-Pacific region and to decrease further escalations in this South China Sea or East China Sea, yes, these big countries need to provide support to the small nations who are present in this region. So for this, they are focusing on especially regional stability. And next one is, yes, these countries are trying to provide support to Ukraine. Yes, you know, this Russia and Ukraine conflict is happening. So which countries are supporting Ukraine? Western countries are supporting. So how? They are giving arms, and also they are giving funds, humanitarian aid, right? And even India is also moving towards west now, and it is trying to provide peace, and as well as even we gave Bhishma cubes for humanitarian aid for this Ukraine, right? So this is the thing this also discussed. And next one here is education investment. Do you know about this STEM initiative, science and technology, engineering and mathematics? So this is related to higher education. So for higher education, obviously the investment will be very high for the people, right? So because of this, they are focusing on giving scholarship so that they can reflect long-term investment in this higher education. So whenever we are providing investment in higher education, how it will be useful? It will be useful in developing of human capital, and we can use demographic dividend for economic contributions, right? So we can prevent demographic dividend to become demographic disaster. So in this also, can you write about international concerns or international collaboration, how it will be helpful for improving human capital? So next year if the question will be like, so how this international collaboration is useful for developing of demographic dividend or developing of human capital. There you can use this kind of initiatives, like other countries are providing scholarship. You can stress on this point. Okay. And next one is disaster response logistics. Yes, Quad is providing humanitarian crisis, especially it is providing a very active approach in humanitarian crisis, so that what happened whenever we are getting this kind of technology and support from other countries, obviously we can enhance our regional resilience towards disaster. Okay, next one is we need to have a legal framework for maritime conduct. So this is the thing which mainly said, because wherever we go, so we have to follow some rules and regulations. So in this international arena, we are using this word called as rules-based order. So is China following that? For example, in maritime region, you know about this UNCLOS, United Nations Law of Convention of Seas. So according to that, it will be decided what is internal water, what is territorial water, contiguous water, and exclusive economic zone. But it is not following that criteria. That means, can we say it is following rules-based order? No. So if we want a peace and stable world together, we need to follow this rules-based order. But it is not following that. So in this quote, they said that is each and every country need to follow rules-based order, so that we can come up with a proper legal framework for maintaining of this maritime conduct. Clear? Clear so far? Any doubts? Okay, say the second article. After Modi's visit US to return 297 antiquities. So what is the keyword? Antiquities. So what is this antiquity? Okay, previous. Okay, historical things that are, why, what is the importance of these antiquities? So why we need to preserve these antiquities? Yes, it represents our culture, our history. So even preservation of our culture, it is our right. Which right? Cultural right, right? So because of this, okay, tell me how these antiquities went to US? Smuggling, yes or no? So there are many movies which depicts about smuggling of olden things to other countries, and even there is one movie of IS officer also, Bagmati movie, shows about smuggling of this idols of very old historic temples. Yes, regarding this, yes. So now let us see. So this article is important from your art and culture point of view, from history, and even from international relations from GS paper 2. So let us see this article, and you have to know about what is the law which is present regarding this antiquities and crafts. So if you see the context, our Prime Minister expressed gratitude to US President for returning of 297 antiquities during his visit to US. Okay, so this is very, very important because we are controlling illegal trafficking of cultural properties, and even it will be helpful for especially deepening of our cultural ties with India and US. Okay, so actually in July we made an agreement between India and US regarding to prevent illegal trafficking and as well as repatriating, that means sending back of this antiquities between these two countries. So because of this, yes, around 297 antiquities that we are going to get soon. So here, what are the key points? It is very important for maintaining of our culture. That means if you are getting this back from other countries, we can understand that our government of India is especially responsible for commitment to our cultural preservation. And even it can showcase how diplomacy can extend beyond the politics to cultural heritage. So if you are having good relations, it is not only useful for politics, but even how it is important for the preservation of culture. We can learn this, and even we can strengthen allies between these two countries so that we can enhance our bilateral relations. And next one here is we can also combat illicit trafficking of this antiquities, and even this is also very helpful for showcase of our Indian culture and society in other countries. Okay, and even we can also get good public trust on government that whichever the culture we lost, we are getting it back, so that it will be also helpful for fostering of goodwill among the people of our country, and even it will be having long term impacts on our nation, that we can restore this cultural heritage for the future generations. Okay, so what is this antiquity? Antiquity refers to any object or any work of art which reflects science, art, literature, religion, custom, morals, or politics, etc. And it includes either sculptures or either coins, paintings, epigraph, any other articles. Okay, and actually in India we have Antiquities Art Treasures Act of 1972, which deals about this preserving of antiquities. So these antiquity means nothing but this object should be having minimum age of 100 years. Okay, and if you see manuscripts, it should be minimum years of 75 years. So what are the features of this act? It gives the definition of what is antiquities and art treasuries, and it also prohibits the export of this antiquities to other countries, and even it will be saying about the process of registration of that antiquities with government of India, and even it can say that who can sell these antiquities. So they need some license, and if they are not following the rules and regulations as well, then what happens? They will be getting punishment under this act. Clear? And what is the mechanism of bringing back of this antiquities in India? So we are saying that we are bringing back. So what is the mechanism that you need to know, right? So in this antiquities, we are having like mainly three types of antiquities. So first category is these antiquities, they are pre-independence. That means before we got independence. It may be belonging to ancient period or medieval period. And next one is those antiquities which are taken out of our country since independence, after we got independence. And next one here is after implementation of this act. We came up with this act in 1976, right? So after once we got this act, so how after this, whenever these things they went out of India, okay, before independence, after independence, and after implementation of act. So actually in these three categories, it is very easy to bring back this third one. Like after once we implemented this act, so if there was any illegal smuggling of these things, then we can easily show that image and as well as ownership, and we can bring it back easily. But it will be very difficult to bring the antiquities which had been smuggled before independence. Okay, that is the thing you have to see. And next, see this image. What is this about? Which animal? Rhino, right? So where we can see these rhinos? Common in which national park? Kaziranga National Park, right? Where it is located? In state of Assam. So here this article is saying that Assam records 86% drop in rhino poaching since 2016. So what is this word? Poaching. What is the meaning of poaching? Illegal killing and selling of organs. So rhino is mainly killed for this horn. Okay. Okay, tell me why illegal poaching is happening. What are the reasons? Why illegal poaching? For what? For money. Next. Yes, actually there is one myth that so these organs of animals, they are having high medicinal properties and they have very good demand in international market, especially in China. In China, traditional medicine, they will be using these horns, some other things. Okay. So next for what? Only for money and this medicine. Any other reason? For food. Next. Next, think. Because of human animal conflict also sometimes the killing of animals will be happen. Next. Okay, let us see. So here this article is saying that rhino poaching had been decreased by 86%. So why there is decreased? What might the steps taken by the government? Okay, Wildlife Protection Act, when we came up with that? 1972, but it is saying 2016. What happened between this 1972 and 2016? Come on, think beyond. You can do it. So what might be taken? Because as you know, at least 2 to 3 questions will be there out of box in your paper. You have to think and you have to write something to clear examination. Come on, think. What might be the steps taken by the government to decrease this rhino poaching in Assam? In what way? How can we decrease illegal killing of animals? What step can you take? For example, if you are a forest officer, what can you do? Yes. You're not understanding my question. How can we decrease the killing in the forest? If you are a forest officer, what can you do? Uh, yes, check post. Next, CCTV cameras. Next, come on. If you are a forest officer, what will you do? Regular monitoring. Okay. Next, fences. Next, regular. Okay, so we can use radio tags for animals and we can assess the movement to decrease human animal conflict. Next, come on, come on, come on. Regarding export of this animal parts, is there any law or is there any agency to check at the cross border? What is that? Come on, think. Are you getting my question or not? Then why are you not able to give answer? It is a basic question, right? Come on, come on. Okay, so actually from which subject we can say this? Environment and ecology. So exactly in biodiversity. So you have to say about which are the acts present for the protection of animals. So you have to know about Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 here. So here Assam has achieved an impressive 86% reduction in rhino poaching since 2016 according to Chief Minister of Assam. And why? Why this turnout? He said because of World Rhino Day. And actually between this 2000 and 2021, poachers killed only 190 rhinos, but there were 233 anti-poaching camps. They had been established in Kaziranga National Park. That means, so why there is decreasing of this killing? Because of the success of anti-poaching camps. So these are the some efforts taken by the state to control the poaching and to protect this one-horned rhinoceros. Okay. So try to use this kind of keywords, anti-poaching. So they are talking about poaching means something which we are trying to control, that is anti-poaching camps. Okay. So here because of this we can understand that there is some significant progress and we can say this program had been a great success for wildlife protection so that other states can inspire and they can take this as a success story and they can also impose this kind of anti-poaching centers in their respective biodiversity areas. And we can understand that yes, government is playing a very important role even in rhino conservation because we had Project Rhino, we had Project Elephant, Project Tiger, especially to protect these big animals. So with this we can understand that yes, government is involving in wildlife protection or preservation efforts and it is becoming a success. So if you are getting any question regarding, can you explain about conservation efforts of government, whether they are successful in conservation or not? So if they are asking this type of questions, can you use this article as a case study, right? So in this way, you have to squeeze whatever there is there in the current affairs to write a better answer. So this is a thing you need to learn here. And next one is community engagement. So here government established 233 anti-poaching camps. It will be not possible with the community participation. Community participation is very important. So here we can understand that enhancing local people in conservation will give better results rather than alone the government or police forces taking efforts. And this one here is they are also taking some long-term strategy. So because of this, it is yielding positive effects so that we can understand the commitment of our government and as well as commitment of the local people in this wildlife protection. And actually, why we are focusing on this one-horned rhinoceros? It is the one identity of entire state itself, right? It is symbol of identity. So it is one of the culture symbol for Assam. So because of this, yes, government is taking, especially state of Assam is taking some efforts to conserve its regional identity. So whenever you're talking about regionalism, can you use this? Yes or no? Again, this is important from your social issues and society point of view. And next one is impact of technology, and even they are using some technological advancements like using of drones. Can you use that? CCTV cameras, and proper surveillance system, and even radio identified tags, radio tags to track the movement. So in this way, we can focus on conservation strategies of environment. And this one is, even we are celebrating this World Rhino Day. That means we are also showcasing about the importance of rhinos to everyone, so that at least we can decrease poaching to some extent. And even we can say other countries, like, we are doing these steps, you can also do these steps, so that we can conserve environment as a whole. We can save our planet. Clear? Say this article. UP Rajasthan MP tops in cases of atrocities on Dalits. So in GS paper 2, there was one question. So I gave one example, like, regarding this SCs and STs, there is some atrocities are happening, and even regarding SCs, I came up with example called as manual scavenging. Yes or no? 2 days ago. Yeah. In your GS paper 2 mains, from society point of view, there was a question. Can you add this data as an example there? So there I said, like, you will be getting lots of data, then you can give substantiation when you are writing about atrocities against Dalits. Now there is an evidence that what I am teaching, it is relevant, right? Okay, see here. UP Rajasthan MP top in cases of atrocities on Dalits, says one report. So tell me why there is increasing of atrocities against these Dalits. What are the reasons? Come on, you can do it. Why there are atrocities against Dalits? Since history, since ancient past. Okay, actually, do you know about this Chaturvarna system? Okay, so in this Chaturvarna system, who are the part? Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Sudras. So will these Dalits, they are part of the Chaturvarna system? Actually, not Shudras. So Dalits, they are out of this Chaturvarna system. They are out of this. Okay, that means when the Chaturvarna system came into picture during our Vedic period. So I said about this Chaturvarna system in GS paper 1 2024 means first question. What is the difference between Rig Veda and later Veda? Okay, so during this Vedic period, this Chaturvarna system came into picture, and from that time onwards, there is discrimination in this Dalits, which is it started. So why there is discrimination? Come on, you can do it. Because of lack of awareness, because of lack of education, because of lack of proper opportunities. Next, because of occupation they are doing. Next, come on, you can. Because of societal norms, because of culture norms, right? Okay, let us see this article. From where you can see this article? With subject, society, social issues, and try to see this map once. Uttar Pradesh, 23% of cases, Rajasthan 16%, Madhya Pradesh 15%, Bihar 12%, and you have to see your state. Telangana 3%, Karnataka 4%, AP 4%. Okay, so whenever you are writing answers, at least you will be remembering your state data for sure, right? So see this kind of infographics so that you can remember the data for the long time, and try to understand why it is happening in your state. Okay, because you know about your state much better than compared to of even UP Rajasthan, because you are natives of either AP or Karnataka or Telangana here. You might not knowing about well about UP and Rajasthan. So at least see the data of your state and see what are the reasons. So what are the steps taken by. So if you see here, Telangana is only 3% and Kerala is 2% and UP is 23%. You can see like why there is regional disparity. So even there was question regarding regional diversity and disparity. Can you add this? If you are moving from southern state to northern states, so there is atrocities or more in Dalits when you are comparing to north states to south states. So why? So everything is interconnected. Because of that, current affairs will become an integral part of your preparation. Okay, now let us see here. Context says, in 2022, UP, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, they reported high case of atrocities against Dalits. And from these three states, 55% of total cases in the India are recorded. Yes, Tell me what might be the reasons in this region why there is more atrocities against these Dalits. What might be the reasons? Because of low literacy. Next, they are developed or less developed states? Less developed states, and there are no proper job opportunities. If they have to do job, they have to go into government sector, or else they have to migrate to southern states. Next, even TFR is high or low? TFR is high, and even whenever TFR is high, we can say population is high, and even population density is high, right? So these are some problems. So whenever population is increasing, what happens? Obviously, there will be scarce resources will happen, and there will be increasing of pressure on food grains, right? So, and even there is increasing of poverty, increasing of hunger. So these are the some important reasons behind this increasing of atrocities against Dalits. Okay. So the report which highlights a concerning decline in conviction rates and concentration of cases in just 13 states. So even atrocities are increasing, but conviction rate, what is conviction? Conviction rate is less. Conviction means proving of that crime and getting punishment. It is very low in these states. Okay, so we can say that this is an example of caste-based violence. So actually yesterday I gave one question to mains answering students regarding caste-based violence, and I said like you have to write the example, and today there is an article regarding caste-based violence example. Okay, so see this details. Uttar Pradesh is dominant. So Uttar Pradesh is showing nearly quarter of SC atrocity cases, indicating that yes, there are some systemic issues. So across the country, to decrease atrocities against these SCs and STs, we have SC/ST Atrocities Act. So despite of this legal proceedings in our country, there is very less conviction rate in these areas. That means we can say we need to take proper steps to ensure justice for these Dalits. And this one is, the second place is Rajasthan and MP. So there are high percentage of cases. That means we can see caste-based violence are highly seen in these northern parts of our country. And if you see 97.7% of cases, they are arise from 13 states, which points that there is increasing of geographical concentration of these issues from only these 13 states. So here, to address this issue, we have to increase resource, okay, allocation, and even we have to take some preventive efforts. So whenever we are focusing on increasing of literacy, increasing of livelihood or employment opportunities, or like to alleviate hunger, okay, so if we are taking that steps, obviously we can decrease this kind of crime. So if you're talking about measures, we can talk about improving of literacy, education, awareness about their rights, awareness about the legal proceedings or what are the acts which are present. And next one is you can talk about health. Okay, so those things that you can write in the measures so that we can break this chain. And next one is there is declining of conviction rates. That means there is shortcomings in judicial process. So we have to bring up reforms in our judiciary. So again, one more question. So whenever you're talking about reforms in the judiciary from polity point of view, you can add this point, right? So even though most of the crimes are happening against the Dalits, there is very less conviction rates in UP, Rajasthan. So we need the reforms. Yes or no? Understanding the points, or connecting the dots, like how to use everything. And next one is investigation is very lagging. So because of this, we can understand there is inefficiencies in this legal system. So we need more resource and trained persons to deal with this kind of cases against this Dalits. And even what are the special courts are there? So there is no proper justice delivery system in our country. There is no proper speedy justice. So if they are filing case, it will be taking some years long in high courts or supreme courts, right? So we need proper fast track court system to address this. Or else, in yesterday's class, we discussed about lok adalats and as well as arbitration tribunals. So can we use that alternate dispute resolution mechanism here? Yes, right? So you can add this point also. And next one is we need targeted interventions. That means whatever the interventions that we are going to have, so they need to tackle this caste-based violence effectively. So these are the steps that we can take. Clear? Okay, see this article. India needs a national security strategy. I think we discussed this topic earlier also, but it was long back. So tell me, what is this national security strategy? National security strategy. Security, why? We have internal security topic in your GS paper 3. So can you tell me what are the internal security issues you are having in our country? Huh? Okay, communal violence. Next. Naxalism or Maoism. Next. Insurgency. Next. Illegal migration from different countries like Bangladesh, Myanmar. Next. Come on, you can do it. Huh? Okay, smuggling, armed trafficking, drug trafficking, human trafficking. Okay, next. Next. You can do it. Nowadays, we are getting new type of security threat, cyber security. Next. Come on, do it. Come on. Come on. You can think. Okay, so this article is important from GS paper 3 security. Okay, so why this article is in news? Because the author is saying that India is in need of national security strategy because we have to navigate through complex geopolitical landscape. Especially there is shifting of alliances, and even nowadays we are getting new economic challenges. So because of this, we need a proper national security strategy. So here, this article is saying that we have to effectively prioritize our resources amidst of growing threats, especially from China, and even we are spending more in our defense, finance, and we have more expenditure regarding climate change. So because of this, we need a proper strategy to use our resources properly so that effectively we can maintain security and territorial integrity of our country. So if you see the details, it is saying that the first important point is India is having regional instability because of India's defense and as well as diplomatic efforts. So they are focusing on improving of our security emerging threats. So actually nowadays, you know about Naxalism is rising, and you know about Kashmir infiltration. So there is increasing of attacks in Kashmir, and many Indian soldiers are dying. And even from China, there is increased threat, and even from Bangladesh because of political instability in Bangladesh. So people are coming to India, and even Myanmar also. So we studied that recently. Between India and Myanmar, we are going to have a fence because to address this problem of coming, okay, that is illegal migrants or insurgency, and even there is no proper economic health to maintain our national security. So here we have to sustain for long for the defense, and even we are also focusing on importance of alliances, like we are coming up with groupings, and even recently quad meeting had happened. So if you want to get technology or if you want to get anything, so we need proper finances. So for that we need to have proper global partnership as well. Okay, so to understand this, first I have to show this image. So if you see this map, here you can see what are the threats that we are having. From Pakistan and from China, we are having a threat of missiles because they are nuclear powered. And here this red color, it is red corridor. It is related to our Maoism or Naxalism. And from Bangladesh, there is insurgency. And even here in Myanmar also we have this problem of insurgency. And especially here you can see these are the areas which are highly affected by insurgency. That means illegal migration from this Bangladesh and Myanmar. And next one here is there is a threat of terrorism from Pakistan, and there is infiltration which is happening in this Jammu and Kashmir region. So these are the different threats that we are having. So to address all these threats, we need proper national security strategy. So whenever you are writing this kind of answer, try to represent map for sure. So in this way, so that you will be getting good marks. Okay, now let us see details regarding what is this national security strategy. So this national security strategy, this document outlines the country's security objectives that we have to achieve. So here in this national security strategy, we will be considering traditional and as well as non-traditional threat. That means traditional means which is only affecting the state. Like for example, Maoism, they are against government. But terrorism, it is not about that. So they want to spread their religion or Islam. Okay, so it is also needs to work with the framework of India's constitution. Whatever the strategy we are coming up, so we have to follow our constitution and we have to follow our foreign policy. For example, in our foreign policy, so we follow only deterrence. That means if one's attacking, we will be doing only retaliation attack. Okay, so what are the strategy we have? So we have to align with our democratic principles, our foreign policy, our agreements with the different countries. And this strategy is often include assessment of potential threats. And we have to focus on resource allocation. We have to focus on diplomacy, military action, policies which are related to the intelligence, defense, and other security related areas. So this is about our national security strategy. So if you're writing an introduction, you have to write about this, and you have to write about it. These frameworks should be aligning our constitution and democratic process for sure. And what is the need of this? What are the benefits if you are having this security strategy for any country? So it will be a comprehensive approach. It will be addressing security challenges, which are both internal and as well as external. And we will be having a clear-cut objectives like what we have to do. And we are focusing on our interest. And next one is we will be having a proper policy guidance so that will be guiding our security forces, and we will be prioritizing our security concerns. So which should we get more resources and which should we get less resources. And next one is we can have proper resource allocation so that we can efficiently manage our finances and human resources. And we will be focusing on only deterrence, that is second attack, not first strike attack. And even people will be getting awareness about how government is focusing on security of our country, how government is spending more for the security of the people. And next one is we can also have international engagement with other countries so that other countries will be also helpful in this extreme situation if you are having any security threat. So there are other articles. The first one is capturing the cost of healthy diets. So actually in GS paper 3 there is one question like how millets will be ensuring nutritional security and food security. So here healthy diet, can we include millets? Yes or no? So what are the millets? Millets, what are these millets? Jowar, ragi, bajra, types of millets? No idea. So why we have to take millets? What are the nutritional benefits you have? They have micronutrients. So actually India is facing one problem called as hidden hunger. What is this hidden hunger? Lack of? So it is deficiency of micronutrients. To address this problem, millets is a solution. So that is the thing that you have to write in your answer in GS paper 3 when you write about nutritional security. Okay. So everyone thinks that hunger is a main problem. If hunger means we have to take only rice or wheat. It is not like that. Even we have to take balanced diet which includes macronutrients and micronutrients. If you are eating only rice, it is having just carbohydrates. It is not having any micro or macronutrients which are essential for our body functions. So millets are very rich in this micronutrients and as well as fiber content, which is very important. So I will be discussing that GS paper 3 in afternoon session. There I will be discussing everything clearly. And see this article on the pitfalls of estimating GDP. So tell me, what is this GDP? Gross domestic product. What is this gross domestic product? Yes, final price of goods and services which are produced in a country within a period of 1 year. So what are the methods of estimating this GDP? Product method, income method, and value added method. Okay, so now actually there is a one proposal of changing or shifting towards new method of GDP estimation, and in this new method of GDP estimation they want to include even GST. Okay, so see this article once. So as you all know that gross domestic product or GDP is a significant measure of a country's economic size, and it is a universal denominator for comparing economy of the different countries. So how can we say that that country is developed or not based on this GDP? GDP is one of the important indicator. So normally what is the base year of calculating this anything 2011 to 12? Actually, there is a one update that they are going to revise this 2020 to 2021. So this is a new base year, but it had been not declared. It will be declared soon. And actually, NSO, what is this NSO? National Statistic Office, which is considering the using of goods and service tax (GST) data to estimate value addition, replacing currently used Ministry of Corporate Affairs database for private sector. Okay, for private corporate sector, which accounts 38% of GDP. So in this 38% of GDP, where it is getting from this corporate sector database, so they are going to replace it with GST soon. But we didn't get official thing. So once official thing is get, we will be getting editorials. Okay. So, and see this article, 51 killed, 20 injured after gas leak leads to blast in Iran's mine. So when you talk about industrial disaster, can you add this? So recently industrial disasters happened in AP in Essentia Pharma Limited, right? So here, whenever you are writing answer regarding disaster management, it is not like you have to take only disasters of India. So even you can add some case studies which happened in other countries. So this is one such a case study of Iran's mine blast that led to actually gas leak. So even in India also in Bhopal gas tragedy, cyanide gas had been leaked. Okay, so you can relate that here and you can write this case study in your disaster management book. Okay, so any doubts so far? So these are the important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I'm concluding. I hope you enjoyed this class. If you really enjoyed this class, please hit the like button and please to share this class to your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to Rathods IS Academy. Thank you so much for watching.